Did you miss your chance to get a new job, a better job, a higher paying job? Are you ready for the coming unemployment crisis that the Federal Reserve Bank promises us that it's going to cause us pain?
Still not a week goes by, I don't regret it.
With all of LinkedIn abuzz with people starting new jobs, you've got to ask yourself, did you miss your chance with the Great Resignation? Did you miss your chance to get that new job and more pay that you know you deserve?
It ain't gonna never happen.
The Federal Reserve Bank, from Jerome Powell to someone like Charles Evans, who's here in Chicago, promises us pain. That is, the unemployment rate, which is near all-time lows at 3.5%, will go up to over 5% next year alone. And they're doing it by design. Yes, they want to cause you pain and break your job market because that's what we all need to happen to save our economy from the dire straits of inflation. So, did you miss your opportunity? Or do you still have a chance? Let's find out. Hi, I'm James Callahan, and this is the Do-Over Show, where we try to get a real value, a good sense of our value in today's job market. And it's always changing, and it's going to change even faster in the days ahead. The Federal Reserve Bank promises to break the economy and the jobs market to curb inflation that's persistent and entrenched at over 8, almost 9%. Oh, by the way, if you exclude food and rent or housing, if you need a place to live or food to eat, then real inflation is probably somewhere between 15 and 18% for us. But for the rest of us who don't need to eat or live anywhere, it's just 8 or 9%. That's all. And here's why the Fed needs to break the job market in order to get ahead of inflation and bring it down to its artificial 2% level. You see, when you have a strong jobs market, that means that employers still need to hire. Why? Because there is a high demand for goods and services. So they need to hire. And that's why it's good for people in the job market. And that's why unemployment is low, a strong labor market.
Amid improving labor market conditions and very strong demand for workers.
But that also means that because demand is high, the supply is lower, which means inflation, that is the price of things, keeps creeping up, and it becomes accepted, entrenched, ordinary, and it's very difficult, stingy. It's very hard to get rid of. So the Federal Reserve plans to break and cause pain in the job market in order to bring down persistent and entrenched inflation. Yep, what that means is that all of our economic troubles, according to the Federal Reserve, are linked to you trying to get a new job and maybe getting one. Yes, that's the problem that they need to solve. They need to make sure you have a more difficult time getting that new job that you know you want. Now, there are signs that the labor market is beginning to slow down. There was a slight uptick in labor participation, more people looking for jobs, but also there was a reduction in the advertised openings of jobs. You've heard for a long time that there have been 2 open jobs for every 1 job seeker. Well, that number slightly ticked down to 1.7 jobs, just a little bit more for every job seeker. So why does the labor market and the problem of inflation, why do they go together, and why should we be concerned? Remember that housing crisis in the 2000s? Yeah, that wasn't a housing crisis until it was first a labor problem, a jobs problem. People were given adjustable rate mortgages with the promise of no documents, and they got into houses that were very expensive. But when interest rates increased at the time, that meant that people had to pay more. But they started to lose their jobs. If they'd kept their jobs and been able to make their housing or mortgage payments, we wouldn't have had the same housing crisis that we did. The housing crisis is caused by a jobs crisis. The jobs crisis is what the Federal Reserve is trying to make happen again today for us. So if they want unemployment to go up to over 5% in the next 6 to 9 months, what's that going to mean for you and your search, your hope for a new job, a better job, and more pay? Well, here are 3 reasons why you might want to look for a job right away. And here are 3 reasons why you might want to just say, you know what, I'm good for now. The 3 reasons why you'd want to make an aggressive move today so you don't miss out, little FOMO, on what's happening, is first, hiring is still strong. Demand is still high. And 3, pay is still higher. Yes, you can still get more and more of an increase looking for and finding that new job. Okay, the 3 reasons why you might want to stay put. The The first one is that larger companies have already announced hiring freezes. Now, the second reason is that there are companies hypersensitive to downturns in the economy that lay off or fire people as soon as there's a hiccup, and then they hire them right back. Those are usually on the lower end, no experience necessary kind of jobs. And yeah, they can fill them with just about anybody in the labor force, anybody that's willing to work for them in the labor force. So there are those jobs that are happening, and there's pressure on the lower side of the market. Yeah, but the higher side of the market still has an incentive to hire and to retain good people. And the third reason why you just might want to stay put now is that you might not want to take the risk of finding a new job, getting into a new job and realizing, I don't like it when the market is cooling down and you don't have an opportunity to find another new job. So let's start by looking at the money story. Now, you've heard people say, and I've said it a couple times, you can look at one of the videos here, that if you want to increase exponentially your earning potential over your work-life career of about 35 years, that you should switch your job every 2 to 3 years because you get a significant increase in pay when you are able to make those moves. That assumes you're able to make that move, personally as well as professionally. Now, when you do that, you're going to start, let's put a number on it today. Let's just say that you start today at $50,000 for your first year on the job. Congratulations, you're making $50,000 a year. Now, if you get a 2% raise each year based on your performance, merit, or even just a little bump in inflation, after 1 year on the job, you're going to end up making $51,000. You'll get a $1,000 increase. Now, at 2%, that's the average that we're experiencing now in a hyperinflationary market of 8 to 9% and real inflation being much higher than that. That means that making in your second year $51,000 means you're effectively going to be making even less than when you started at $50,000 because of inflation. Ouch. But let's go through it year by year. After 1 year, you're at $51,000. A 2% increase in your second year takes you to $52,020. Year 3 takes you to $53,060.40. Year 4, $54,121.61. Year 5, $55,204.03. Year 6, $56,308.11. Year 7, at $56,308.11 times 2% increase gets you an $1,126.16 raise that year, and that brings your annual salary to $57,434.27. Year 8 takes you to $58,582.96. Year 9, $59,754.62. And after 10 years of working at the same company, when you begin your 11th year with a 2% increase, your pay will be $60,949.71. Congratulations. 10 years, start your 11th year, and you've gone from $50,000 to $60,949.71. Now here's the next scenario. Let's say that increases at the same company still average over the next 10 years just 2% annually. Okay, that's the average for this last year. But you make a change every 2 to 3 years within that. So let's break it down and look at the numbers about just an average increase. Now, an average increase when moving from one job to another in the last several years has averaged about 10% higher, or at least that's a baseline that most people look at. They need to justify a job change by at least getting 10% more in that job. So if you start year 1 through year 3, 2% annual, you work the same job for 3 years, at the end of those 3 years, you're at $53,060.40. And at that point, if you get a new job for a 10% increase over your current salary after 3 years of working in that job, you will get a $5,306.04 bump to move to a new job, bringing your annual salary to $58,366.44. And let's say you work years 4, 5, and 6 at this second job, and you get a 2% annual increase. You start at $58,366.44, and you wind up at $61,939.83. And after just 5 years with that one change for that one bump, you reach in 5 years the same annual salary that it took you 10 years to get to in the job that you stayed at, getting those 2% annual increases. 5 years, you cut the time in half to get to the same outcome. Now let's say you make your third job change over that 10-year period of time from year 7 to 10, and you get a 2% annual increase over where you started at $68,133.83. But that after 10 years, that bumps you to $72,284.16 at the 2% annual increase. Yeah, $72,000 plus after 10 years with just 3 job changes and 2% increases over your annual salary in each of the years you stay at one of those 3 different jobs. If you make another job change at that 10-year mark and you move to another job with just an average 10% increase in your annual salary, that's a $7,228.42 increase, bringing your annual wage with that job change in your 10th, moving into your 11th year, means you're going to make $79,512.58. That is, with just those 3 basic job changes, you're going to be earning over 31% more than if you stayed at the same job with 2% annual increases. Now, I tell you that story not to make people in HR upset, although I'm sure I'm no fan of most people in HR, but I tell you that story because you need to know the real numbers and the averages in today's job market, because getting the true value of your personal and professional skills in today's job market has never been more important. And with an uncertain job market ahead and the Federal Reserve threatening to break it and cause us, you, me, significant pain, you have to find out, you have to ask yourself a very serious question. Did I miss the opportunity to make the kind of change that will get me the better job with the better pay that I know I deserve? Hey, and thanks for being part of the Do-Over Show. I really appreciate it. Hey, could you please tap the like button because it really helps. And while you're down there looking for a job, could you tap the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you don't miss the next episode? I'm so glad you found me and I found you. Thanks.